you guys know the drill. We'll start with a opening statement from Coach, and then we'll get the questions ready to roll. So with that, Coach, get us started here. So.
Yeah, just again, proud of our football team, our staff, our organization for Saturday's win. That goal line stand was pretty impressive on tape. The will it took for everybody to stay calm, execute their assignments, make the plays they played, and then do it for 4 straight downs is a testament to our defensive staff and our players and really everybody involved in just taking it one play at a time. New week, new challenge, new opportunities. Obviously, our thoughts are with all the players that are affected with COVID at Vandy and wish them well. And now for us, we turn our attention to ourselves, an unexpected bye week, and focus on what we can control, which is how do we improve and get better, specifically in fundamental areas. That just threw me off with my guy just popping up on us. Looks like he's on an airplane. That's what I'm seeing right now. No, he's in his car. These press conferences are tripping me out. So anyway, new week, new opportunity. We got to improve. Gives us an opportunity to get healthy, improve our techniques and fundamentals. I can't look straight ahead anymore. Yeah. Techniques and fundamentals. And all right, with that, I'll open up for questions.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions, guys. Get your hands raised. And Ben Hockman, you're definitely the guy that he's talking about here. So go ahead, Peter.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Eli, so you had a lot of the, I guess, second string wide receivers play really well on Saturday. How kind of are you going to balance the reps when you have kind of some of the other guys who are out last game come back to practice?
Always compete. Whoever gives us the best chance to win is going to play.
Dave Matter, go ahead.
Eli, what's the most you can get out of having kind of an unexpected bye week, and how does that help get those guys back that weren't on the field for various reasons against LSU?
Yeah, it's a tremendous blessing for us we played really 3 tough SEC opponents, all ranked. It's a physical game in the trenches for us to try to get healthy, bumps, bruises, obviously get people out of quarantine, get people out of contact tracing is going to be good. It gives us a chance to reevaluate the first 3 games where exactly we were not where we need to be, and we can work on those things and really get some specific practices and fundamentals looked at to make sure we know what we're doing. And so that's really what we're going to do. And then it's also an opportunity to get refocused on our academics. This is kind of the midterm period. So we've got a lot of guys with tests this week, and now they can spend the extra time instead of prepping for an opponent, they can prep their academics.
Mitch Forty, go ahead.
Yeah, Eli, speaking of that wide receiver group who stepped up on Saturday, I'm curious, we've seen maybe one receiver kind of hop in with the first team and click before, but I think it's a little more rare to see a whole group have to do that at once. Was there anyone who kind of took the lead in practice leading up to the game, or was it kind of a group thing feeding off of each other's performance and preparation?
Well, I think it was kind of a group thing. I think Coach Hamden's done an outstanding job of creating competition in that room and making sure those guys know that they get rewarded with playing time on what kind of effort they play with and how well they block. And I'll say this: I'm incredibly proud of Boo, a guy who joined our team at walk-on tryouts in January. To have, I think he had 5 catches against the defending national champs is pretty impressive. Michael Wilson's a former quarterback. So, I think that's a great sign. I think, just some things happened. Connor took the lion's share of 2 reps through fall camp just to try to multiply his reps. And those receivers with him during that time were Toski Dove, Boo, and Michael Wilson and Barrett Bannister. So there was some natural chemistry already built in there.
Jack Sobel, go ahead.
Coach, after you got a chance to look at the tape, what kind of stood out to you specifically about that goal line stand? Like any individual players really stand out there?
Yeah, I think Nick was involved in the first 2 tackles. I think we brought, schematically, Coach Walters knew exactly what they were going to do on the goal line. It's kind of the same progression of plays they had against Alabama in the previous year, where they went inside zone, and then tried to run a crack screen to the H. They did a nice job that Nick Bolton knocks it down, just makes the play. And then the last play that, we really didn't execute it exactly like we had it drawn up, but Josh Bledsoe made an outstanding break on the football, really drove on the ball, and did a nice job deflecting the pass.
Bill Pollock, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Coach. It felt like both quarterbacks were kind of equal heading into the season, and you were trying to figure that out. Is Connor one of those guys who steps up his play? Not saying he doesn't practice hard, but is he one of those guys that when it's live and the game means something, he kind of takes his game to another level? And did it just take seeing him playing in a couple series to kind of see his game elevate?
No, I think that's – no. I mean, he's a competitor. He competes extremely hard. I think what we're seeing from Connor right now is just continued growth. Again, it's a little bit unfair to evaluate Connor with the same measuring stick as we do others because of his background in wishbone offense. He's really still at practice, maybe 30 with us as far as just getting reps of the same pass concept, where he's now repped the same pass concept 10 to 12 times. And he can kind of anticipate, okay, it's this coverage. This is who should be open. That's who I see open. This is who I throw the football to. And I think that's really more than what you're seeing. That the reason why we gave him the lion's share of the 2 reps was just to try to put him in a microwave and get as many reps as he possibly could, knowing that he was developing fast, but he still just hadn't seen the same pass concepts. I believe, and I could be off on my statistics, I believe he had less than 200 pass attempts as a senior in high school. We had 200 pass attempts in our first 2 weeks of practice. So, being able to get that much repetition is something that as a quarterback, you grow from reps.
Eric Blum from the Tribune. Eric, go ahead.
Eli, you mentioned it a tiny bit earlier, but where exactly do you evaluate the team 3 weeks into the regular season?
Where do I think we got to get better?
You said this is a week to kind of evaluate how the first 3 weeks went.
Yeah.
How those evaluations gone?
Oh, I mean, they're good. They're eye-opening. I mean, we're a 1-2 football team that has to focus on ball security. Offensively, we've got too many turnovers. Special teams, we've muffed 3 punts in 3 games, which is not good. Defensively, we've only got 1 takeaway in 3 games, which is not nearly where we want to be. We want to have 2 takeaways per game. And so, for us, that's an extreme point of emphasis that we have to make to our players and to our staff, that we have to improve in not only our ball security, but in taking the ball away from them. And then there's other specific things that I'd rather not get into, but that is number one, what we have to do. And then there's every player, each coach has identified one thing that each player needs to improve on, and we're going to be talking about that with them today and working on that over the next 2 practices. So that's what we're doing.
Ben Hockman from the Post. Ben, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. 2 quick questions. I took my sunglasses off. It's bright in here. All right. First question: what? You said there was some miscommunication on that final play, the Bledsoe play. What was supposed to happen?
No, there wasn't miscommunication. The only thing that should have been different was Martez was supposed to come off the front side edge and force the quarterback to pull up a little bit quicker. Once he read it was a sprint out, he turned to try to find and help, like it was going to be an in and a flag concept instead of being double outs. So that was really the only thing. We still got pressure on the backside. Chris Turner forced and hit the quarterback, and Bledsoe was able to defeat the push off at the top of the route and still break in time and knock the ball down.
And the other question was about Bledsoe. Can you just describe, for lack of a better word, how cool it is that this guy got to be the guy to make the final play of the big game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm incredibly proud for him. I'm proud that he's a guy who works extremely hard, that does everything we ask him to do. He's playing through being uncomfortable. He's playing through nicks and bruises and all kinds of stuff. And he just shows up to work every single day, does what we ask him to do. The one thing I will say is the play doesn't care who makes it. There's plays and opportunities out there during a game to be made, and the play doesn't care who makes it. We're just glad that we made it.
Thank you.
Peter Baugh, go ahead.
That's my new favorite reporter.
Eli, what about Nico as a wide receiver in high school? Nico Hay. What about his skill set? I guess just makes him effective in the passing game.
Nico's a young player that we're continuing to ask to develop and grow into his position. We've asked him to play physical at the point of contact, and he doesn't back down from that at all. He's really a young guy who really wants to be good. You can tell the way he's invested in his body through this offseason and how much weight he's put on and the muscle he has. Obviously because he's played wide receiver in the past, he's got good skill set. He's got good hands. He's a natural ball catcher, and that provides us some flexibility with him being able to do different things at that position. He made a great catch on the goal line, but I think even tougher is that little shovel pass because it gets on you so quick, and you really got to trust that no defensive lineman's going to blow you up.
Ben Arnett. Ben, go ahead.
Eli, I don't know how big of a believer you are in momentum in a program, but I know you said blessed to have the week off to recuperate and everything. But what do you feel like you want to do within the program to keep the momentum moving forward from a huge win like Saturday?
Well, I mean, the way you keep momentum moving forward is you continue to improve. And so as a coach, as a coaching staff, as players, we all have to find that area that we can get better at and really focus on it this week. I've identified one area specifically within our program. We got to value the ball more. We got to value the ball on the offense side of the ball, and in special teams and on defense, we got to get the ball. I think the key to momentum is always improving. That's how you keep moving forward, is always improve. So that's what we're going to do this week. There's nothing I can – I have zero control this year, zero control. So whatever happens, we got to make the most of it. And, it does come at a good time for us from a health standpoint and getting better. So, it'll work out good.
Suichi from the Star, go ahead.
Hey, Eli, when you have a result like beating the reigning national champs, I guess any idea of results versus hope, I guess, how does that change things in just how you can kind of sell your program, not just to your team, but recruiting and then everywhere else?
It's a tangible result to the words that we've put out there. We've talked a lot about changing the culture, and, the stated goal is to win the SEC East. And I think sometimes you come in and you're an energy guy and all that stuff. Sometimes people think, well, it's just talk. The results speak for themselves, and now we've got some tangible results for Mizzou. Obviously for our staff and for the guys that have come into this organization with me, we've had results in the past where we've been, but now we've got some tangible results for Mizzou. And hopefully what this does is, as Ben was insinuating, helps build momentum for the Mizzou faithful, that we can continue to restore the pride that we have in this great program, that we can get rural Missouri, we can get St. Louis, we can get Kansas City, we can get those guys and people to tune in, to buy tickets, to invest in our program. There's still a lot of things that we need to continue to push the envelope. The Southeast End Zone project is unbelievable, but there's still more to do. There's more to get caught up on. This is no time to let off the gas. It's actually a time to put the foot down and really accelerate through the curve and try to capitalize on what we're doing.
Gabe DeArmond, go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, Eli, this may not be a new development, but have coaches over the years had to adjust a little bit what their idea of a good defensive game is? And what's your reaction to looking around this league, 56-45, 45-41, and is that just emblematic of football in general?
I think offenses are getting more sophisticated. I think players want to play offensive football because they want to touch the ball. But I also think what you're seeing is a direct reflection of not having enough time to put in defensive schemes, not getting enough practice, not having enough time in the weight room. You're seeing injuries. You're seeing not that cohesiveness that you have on the defensive side of the football. So for me, I tend to see this as probably a aberration instead of the new norm. I think it's probably just a result of, people didn't tackle probably as much as they wanted to during fall camp because you didn't know when you were going to play and who all was going to get injured based off also having to be prepared for COVID. So I don't necessarily tend to think this is the new norm. I think this is probably just a result of what's all happened with COVID.
Greg Palermo from KTVI. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. I was going to ask about Nico, but you pretty much got to that. So instead, there's been talk about your post-game comments about Boomer. Nobody circles the wagons like Mizzou. I'm wondering if you can expand upon that, and was that a specific reference to Oklahoma?
No, that's Chris Berman. I mean, do we not watch Sunday Night Football? Yeah, it's Chris Berman. He used to say nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. All I was insinuating was we've had a lot of different things that could have turned our attention towards what we didn't have instead of what we did have. And what we do have is each other. We had a program and a coaching staff who believed in the kids, and a group full of men who believed in each other and said, you know what, we can get this done together. There was a lot of people that didn't think that could be the case based off of, contact tracing and transfers and opt-outs and all the different things that have been distractions. We just decided that we weren't going to let the outside rattle us. We were going to believe in each other. So, Sooners, but I don't even.
Mitch Forty, go ahead.
Eli, I was wondering, you said you were going to use this week to get healthy. Do you have any sort of a timetable or estimate on the guys that missed Saturday's game, Kobe Whiteside and Darius Robinson, how long they could be out?
Yeah, I do. I do. Kobe's injury is probably looking towards the bye week, where we'll reevaluate where that is. Darius, potentially Kentucky, but if not, then it would be after the bye week. And then the COVID quarantine contact tracing, I don't know. I don't know. Whenever they tell me they're available is when I usually count on them being available. So.
Max Baker. Max, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I was just wondering what you saw from that walk-on tryout, I guess back however long ago that was. And was Deontay someone that stood out then, or was he someone that sort of made the team and has improved ever since, or was he someone that stood out right away to you?
No, I mean, he's a guy that stood out at that tryout, and was a guy that had good speed. But, we only had 3 spring practices, so we didn't get to see a whole lot there. It was consistent throughout the summer. But he's a young man. He's got a great attitude. He's never had a bad day that I've seen. He's got a great contagious energy to him, shows up to work, is a guy who consistently makes plays. That he's got some deficiencies, but he covers up with those deficiencies with great effort. He's practiced well, and he's made plays in scrimmages, which ultimately gave him the opportunity to have confidence to go make plays in a game.
Jack Sobel, go ahead.
Coach, it looked like Jarvis Ware was in uniform and he got snaps, but he didn't play the entire game. Were you guys just trying to ease him back from injury? Did Ishbirdian and Adam Sparks earn more reps, or was it a combination of both?
Who?
Jarvis Ware.
What was the question again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of it. Jarvis Ware didn't play very much?
It looked like he was in uniform and he got snaps, but he didn't play the entire game. Were you guys trying to ease him back from injury? Did Ishbirdian and Adam Sparks earn more reps, or was it a combination of both?
No, we're still trying to make sure he's 100%. He was not 100% going into the game. He was trying to really pushing himself. And we had, as a coaching staff, really had to make the decision that we didn't want to put him out there to further injure himself. And so we picked spots where we could put him in and get him in. Obviously, he had to end up going in as a punt returner too for us. But yeah, he's going to be the guy when he's 100% healthy. Hopefully we get him back. Couldn't have come at a better time for him. So hopefully he'll be back ready to go next week.
Andrew Kaufman, go ahead.
Coach, now that you get the surprise bye week, what are you going to do on Saturday with your day off?
I'm going to recruit. Yeah, we're going to spend Friday night evaluating recruits on line, and excited to be able to watch some Friday night games and just watch all the guys that we're recruiting. And then, Saturday recruit. I don't know. I hadn't really got that far. I'm really worried about Tuesday right now. We got to practice here in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know who's playing. I don't even know who's playing this week. So I'm sure I'll tune into a game or something. I don't know. Maybe go to a pumpkin patch. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll have to see what the wife has planned, but I will do some recruiting. I know that.
Dave Matter, go ahead.
I went to a good pumpkin patch Sunday, Eli. There's a good one not far from here. Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Hey, your D line was pretty depleted the other day, but basically rotating 5 guys in there. What do you think of how they played given the circumstances?
I think that's a group that really responded to a challenge. I think they were disappointed with the way that they had played against Tennessee and really knew that they needed to play better, especially in order to give us a chance to win. I think at one point LSU had 1 yard rushing, and so they really responded. They all, they stood tall. We were playing, I think 5-6 guys got in the game, and they knew they were going to take a bunch of reps, and they didn't flinch. And Markel Utze on that second down play really defeated a block and got to the tailback first, causing the cut back, and ended up Nick Bolton and Josh and Martez were there to make the tackle. So he had a standout play right there. Trey Williams and Jeff Coat both, I think, had sacks and provided multiple pressure on the quarterback. So, Isaiah is a guy that continues to improve. He's battling some nicks and knacks too. And so, those guys, I was really proud of what they did.
Next one comes from George Somerville. George, go ahead.
Coach, hi. You were asked a couple of weeks ago about traveling to Neyland Stadium, and you said everything in the SEC was a new experience. I'm just I'm curious, now you're a third of the way into the season, how is your SEC experience matched up with your expectations?
Neyland Stadium was really cool. They'd never been there before. Obviously, in my mind, I was thinking, wow, I wonder what it would be like if it had, 107,000 people there. Same thing. Saturday was a great moment, a great win. You kind of wonder to yourself what it would have been like had it been sold out, So I think one thing that we're all missing is the game day atmosphere. It's just not the same. That's what makes SEC football what it is. The phrase, it just means more. It really does just mean more to the SEC, and you're missing that contagious energy that the fans provide at the game. As far as on the field, I mean, you expect to play great opponents. You expect that every player you go against is a really good player, and that's been the case. It's no different. Spent some time, watching Florida. It's going to be the same there. There's great players all across the board in every uniform.
Peter Baugh, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, Eli, looking back on Saturday's film on that long pass to Chance Looper, what did you kind of see there? Like, was he Connor's first option, or was that just Connor going through his progressions, and what, I guess, led to that being such an explosive play?
Yeah, it's a design play, designed to beat quarters coverage, which is what their primary coverage is. It's a flood concept. You read it top down. In quarters, we say the stage is set so he could peek the take post coming from the field. They had clearly taken that away. And so then his second read, which is the alert is number one, but his primary is loop coming across the middle. And it's a specific play that we had designed. You have to hold up in protection. So our offensive line did a tremendous job. And Larry has to get out to the flat to hold the flat defender, which he was able to do, which allows the other spot to open. So that's kind of how the play is designed to work. And he hit it. And then, obviously once the player gets the ball in his hands, it's like I tell him all the time, I just give you the recipe. What you cook with it's up to you, and so that's, we call the plays, we give them the recipe, and then it's their job to cook.
Colin, go ahead, and then we'll do 2 more after Colin.
Hey, Eli, you opened that game showing I and then went Wildcat, and then you had pistol and shotgun coming back. Just what do you like about being able to run this offense with multiple backfield alignments? And then how much of Connor's development is learning those and being comfortable with the things he wasn't doing in the wishbone in high school?
Yeah, I mean, we like to have fun, with and create, issues for defensive coaches with the what if game. What if Connor motions out and they don't, and they leave Sean and Larry in the backfield, or vice versa. So, we're just trying to be creative with what we're doing there. I think the biggest thing for Connor is just to continue to understand what we're trying to do and what are the pressure points that we're putting on the defense. With this play, what's the pressure point that we're attacking? With this play, what's the pressure point we're attacking? And then he can understand when I call plays, this is why we're calling it versus we want this look, but if they give you this, then this is your outlet. And that just comes with reps and understanding. You learn from mistakes, you learn from failure. And so he's having to figure those things out and make the mistake in practice. And hopefully in the game, he doesn't make a mistake. There was really only, there's several plays that when you go in there, you're critical on, but there was only a few that he just didn't have the right progression in mind. So we got to clean those up.
Gabe, go ahead.
I know a week or two ago on the SEC call, you had some thoughts about, not being uniform reporting things. And then you guys found out in, I guess, an unconventional way that you might not be playing this weekend. Is there any way to make this easier on people? Would you like to see something done, or is that just what this year is?
First off, I think my comments on the SEC call were taken a little bit out of context because I believe I was asked a question about making a comparison to other teams and if COVID had to do with us all being some sort of equal. My comment was that I can't really make a comparison because I do not know how COVID has affected anybody else. So that was not in any way, fashion, form a shot at our league or how we're reporting it. Now, as far as the bus line yesterday, that just happens to be pretty funny that, the way we found out that our bus company alerted us, that is not a shot at anybody else. It's just funny how sometimes, everybody wants certain channels to be done. And anyway, I trust our commissioner. I trust our medical task force. I trust our administration. I trust our league. We've got the best league in college football. It's not close. That's why we've been able to play and maintain the things that we're doing. We have a great plan in place. Are there things that we could do better? I think any leader in any organization would always try to strive to do better and find better ways to improve. If there's ever another global pandemic in the future and we're all still coaching in this league, then I'm sure we'll have adjusted the way we report stuff. But as of now, we're doing the very best we can with the information that we have. We have protocols in place. The league has, what's going on, and we make the best of it. So, no, I don't have a suggestion or improvement, and I really don't want to have to I'm trying to keep my name out of the media if y'all can help me with that.
Eric Blum, finish this up, man.
Coach, I'm curious if you heard from anybody of note or anybody you didn't expect after the win against LSU congratulating you.
Nope. I've heard from a lot of people, and I expected to hear from all of them.
Okay.
All right, guys, we'll close it with that. We'll let Coach go. Thanks for hopping on,
Thanks.
guys.
Appreciate y'all.